and welcome to an episode 200 of the There's a Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts and a very prepared host, Darby Hallman.
I'm Jeff Mayo. I prepared my part.
The disappointment in Jeff's voice. I have let him down.
Episode 211.
211 of the There's a Large
How
Gaming
could you
Podcast.
forget?
Obviously, I knew. Clearly, I
Yeah, you were testing me.
Clearly, yes. And you passed, Jeff, with flying colors.
Thank you.
Oh, Jeffrey, how you doing?
Pretty good, Darren. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm ready to sit here and talk about video games with you. It feels like it's been approximately 6 years since we have done this.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it feels right. Just
Yeah.
settling back in. The holidays are over.
People are announcing shit again.
They're announcing shit again. We are full steam ahead into what seems like it's probably going to be a pretty meaty year.
Yeah.
If all the cards align, you know, if everything happens the way it's supposed to, it should be a pretty big year.
Pokemon Legends Arceus in 2.5 weeks.
Hell yeah.
Should probably get that. They'll probably get that marketing really rolling in the next couple
would
days.
think so.
Yeah.
We're running out of time, aren't we?
Yeah, well, part of the reason I think, obviously this week, if not early next week for sure. Because it seems like Pokemon's being more tight-lipped. The Pokemon company's being more tight-lipped about this game compared to some other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, partly I think they are because the anime, they are doing a 4-episode thing for Legends Arceus where Ash and his companions get, I guess, sent back in time to the Hisui region.
Okay, that's fun.
That's apparently it's exclusive to Amazon for some reason. But the first 2 episodes are going up like next week or some shit.
Bezos is just a really big fan.
Yeah. So they so there's probably gonna be some stuff in there. So they probably gonna show off some stuff because it's gonna be in that episode.
Interesting. Okay.
I imagine because they're going to want to show off the Pokemon. So.
I mean, I would think that like at this point, wouldn't you be kind of happy if they like don't show a lot of stuff and just like put you right? As long as it's good.
That's how I want it because in Sun and Moon, Gen 7, they before release revealed all but like 5 Pokemon.
Yeah, like that's lame.
And
man.
Sword and Shield, they did a much better job about they revealed all the starter evolutions and shit for Sun and Moon, but you did not know them. I think you knew the middle forms, but you didn't know the final forms for
especially the new Pokemon or new variations. That seems like that would be half the fun. That's half the fun when we played the Art Nuzlocke. So something comes up, I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, for like the starters for Legends, I just kind of want to at least maybe the confirmation that they are new evolutions, but I don't actually want to see them.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you'll hear about Pokemon Legends Arceus very soon on this here podcast in the future. But on this podcast that you're listening to now, we got some games to talk about. We got some gaming news to talk about. But then we're going to reveal who won the Game Awards 2021 betting special. Very excited. If you haven't watched the betting special, even though the Game Awards had happened, go back and look at that because Jeff really outdid himself. It was crazy. It was great.
Already plotting for E3 because that's like 5 months away.
Stupid time.
Well, or is it? Wait for later in the episode.
Well, Jeff, what are we talking about first?
First thing we are talking about a new game that I have played. Tried to get in before our 2021 GOTY discussions. That I started and finished, and then you started at least a little bit.
I have,
and that is Chicory: A Colorful Tale.
Yes.
A game that's been talked about, not to the great, the most volume, but just kind of
as much as it should.
Yeah, kind of in the background as, hey, this is like one of the best games of the year, best indie games, yada yada yada.
Yes, yeah, I think it has a very vocal fan base.
Yes,
a passionate fan base. Yeah,
and Darby is someone who beat the full game. It is deserved.
Jeff has joined those ranks.
This is a very good, just jolly game.
Yeah,
and also, it is jolly, but it also kind of goes places more than right. It's just kind of one of those games, and that's great because it kind of starts off. You're this little janitor for the
big artist, magical artist lady,
like the painter Chicory.
Yeah,
the bunny is actually named Chicory, not your actual character. I won't say what they do for that.
You got a Celeste Mountain type of thing going on here.
Yeah. Whatever.
Sadly, I knew what was gonna happen with the name. Unfortunately, because I've heard from other people.
I did not.
I wish I didn't. It would have been better if I didn't.
I was like, but you find a magic paintbrush, yada yada yada, and now you can paint the world. The world was painted full of color, but it's now black and white. You got to figure out why, and then paint the colors any way you want.
Absolutely.
Which is a fun, jolly time.
It is very fun.
I want to try to get done with it, so I didn't paint as much as I would like, but I know there's little post-game stuff, so I might go back and kind of paint it more my own thing.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. I'm painting too much. Like, every area...
Designing every square?
Yeah.
Oof, you're going to be there a while.
Well, at least you can do the hold down thing and spread, so it doesn't take as long, but it still takes too long.
And make sure if you haven't, because I think they described at some point in this case, you can change the paintbrush size.
Yeah, someone told me about that. With the first photo I sent to you, I didn't even know about the spread out thing, so I individually painted all of that. And I was like, every single area I went into was like, okay, I'm just going to do a few things. I'm not going to do the whole thing. And then like 5 minutes later, I did the whole thing. I'm like, all right, fuck. I go to the next area, and then I just started doing it. So like, I've played longer than I probably seems like story-wise.
Yeah.
Every area I've just kind of blacked out of my mind and just started designing it. It was nice. It was nice.
As far as the game, I think it does a very good job of using the paintbrush for you to do stuff. It's kind of Metroidvania-like. I mean, just not really a Metroidvania, but to give you an idea, you get abilities as you go on, and you kind of have this open-esque world that you can go around, and some stuff's blocked out, and then once you get abilities, you can go back to places to move on, to go different places, or to get collectibles or something you couldn't before. It's like when you get a power, like, oh, that's what that is. You can go back and you can do stuff, that kind of stuff.
So it is kind of like puzzly outside of the drawings,
yes.
or with the drawings.
Yes, so you can do stuff like you can swim in the paint at some point to kind of get below stuff and maybe move faster and all that. And all that. Yeah. And there's just a bunch of puzzles to solve there. You can do requests for some of the like townspeople and stuff because they're like, I want a cool color on my house. And you do that, and they were like, that is cool. And they give you like little dress up things. Have you gotten a bunch of like clothing and stuff? So you can dress up your character. And it seems like they don't have a set gender for your character, so they give you stuff that's more masculine or feminine.
Nice.
Yeah, again, I don't think they refer to your character as either, really. Just kind of like I'll mention this. You meet the main character's mother and father, and they just say like you're a child and that kind of stuff. But one thing I really like, I just remember, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it, I love about this game, even though I didn't really use it much, I just love the way they did it, is there is a hint system in this game where you go to phone booths, and the context is you are calling your mom.
Oh, I've heard about this. Yeah,
yes.
Go ahead. This is very neat. Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, okay, dear, what's going on?" It's like, "Oh, well, based on what you told me, maybe you can try this." And she kind of does a more vague thing, but out of the corner of the screen, you see your dad's like arm coming out, about to grab the phone, and the mom's like, "Oh, your dad kind of wants to talk. You know who he is. He just kind of likes to go ahead and give you the answers or whatever." And once I figured out something out, I just decided, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and see what that's like.
Yeah.
And he explained it and all that kind of stuff in much greater detail of what to do.
So that's basically the hint / give up system.
Yeah. Well, and what's also nice, he's like, well, that probably will help you or whatever. But this game's just kind of like Celeste in some way, because Lana Rain is her name.
I always forget.
Is composing on that, and that's kind of like similar kind of vibe kind of thing. The music is excellent in this game, by the way, of course. And the dad's like, I didn't have this when I was a kid, but if this doesn't completely help you, whatever, go on the internet. There's no problem with doing that to move forward.
Yeah, it's that's very Celeste. Celeste was a punishingly difficult game, but it was also like, hey, use the assist if you want. There's no
but also, as far as I know, Celeste had a whole bunch of assist shit, but I guess it's a more puzzle based and all kind of stuff. So it's
probably not as hard.
Different of that. Just give you the answers. None of the puzzles are particularly hard. Obviously, some of the ones There are a lot of side puzzles to do that usually are just to get outfit stuff and just little stuff like that, and it's usually pretty obvious what that stuff is a lot. Naturally, I did all of the ones I came across.
Nice.
And those were always fun, and I think this game did a good job of kind of introducing different elements for the paintbrush and stuff to make it interesting as you go. Yeah. It's separated into chapters. I think they're roughly like 10 or 11 of them or something. Okay. You do stuff in like different areas and all that kind of stuff. You're always meeting new characters. 10 to 11 hours, and I think that's like the general how long to beat was. I was kind of in line with that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, nice. Yeah, I obviously the little bit I've played, I think it seems very delightful.
Yes. And again, the stories are nice about Chicory is your main character's mentor, and just kind of it's kind of going into broad strokes about it's just kind of about your mentor's not always what you think they are, and they're kind of people too, and they kind of go some places with that.
Right. And I know they go into a lot of like creative burnout.
Burnout,
and things. Yeah, it seems very interesting. I mean, it seems like, am I wrong in thinking that it's maybe more lighthearted than it, but it's like Night in the Woods-esque of like writing style, where it's
so
like,
the way I described this, I think, to you and some of our friends, again, just kind of a general thing, not exactly like this. It's like Night in the Woods meets Tearaway.
Right. Yeah. That is what you
because the whole you're able to paint things. You paint the background and stuff like Tearaway, the little arts and crafts you make shape the world, and also in this game, there are times where you like paint a drawing or something, and it gets hung in places, or you can do at some point you'll get a stamp that you can use to just stamp all over the world. And there's one stamp, or I think you can maybe do multiple slots for it, where you can customize your own stamp, so you can literally just have your mark everywhere.
Like your artist signature.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's a lot of stuff like that, even though it's not necessarily integral to the like actual moving forward in the game. It's just a nice way to like, hey, just make this world as your own color-wise and all that.
Let's go.
Color, your character and any character, whatever color you want them to be.
Yeah, I hope everyone likes the colors of their houses, because I've already made that decision for them.
So, most of them are fine with it and seem to be okay with whatever. One of them was very cheeky about like, no, I don't like this. Yeah, Chicory, wonderful game, and the biggest crime of the Game Awards is this not being nominated for indie game, but 12 Minutes was.
Yeah.
Now that I play both, I can say that pretty definitively.
Kind of hard to justify that one, huh?
Yeah, and I'm legitimately surprised what all the praise it's getting, because it's actually won. I've seen it won multiple like GOTY awards from big sites.
Yeah,
as the GOTY, and I think it's well deserved.
Absolutely.
Very good game.
Hell yeah, can't wait to get more of it.
Yeah, want to talk more about it, but yeah, don't want to get into spoilers and all that. So maybe Darby and I can more deeper spoilerish discussion once he gets through it.
Has it now?
Yep. And yeah, it goes into, again, like crazy places and gets very creative with some of the big moments of the game. Again, don't want to spoil it, but nice. I highly recommend.
Do you get more colors?
So yes. So I don't think you're far in this. At least for a while, I think that you at some point you can do customized colors, and it can be whatever. But for the a lot of the game, the colors are based on the area. So you'll have like 4 colors for each area.
Oh, okay.
That you can play around with.
That's fine.
I kind of like it because, yeah, it's like, okay, you're not painting everything exactly what color you might want it, but at the very least, it's like, oh, this is the kind of the style we were really going for, or color where the devs are kind of envisioning it, but you can kind of play around with it. It mixes things up.
Force you, to do some different things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah, I was just hoping that I got some other colors. At some point.
No, I was wondering that too. Is once I realized, oh wait, I just have a different set of colors for this area. It's like, okay, and yeah, well, obviously once you go back, you'll, go back and forth. Your colors will just change.
Nice. Hell yeah. But does Jeff feel so fondly about Deathloop? Where will Deathloop rank?
I don't know. I'm now I've had like a couple revisions to my list, and I'm not questioning it again. So it's going to be whatever it is whenever we actually get to recording.
At that time, it'll be a snapshot in time.
Pretty much. And I'm already predicting I will make a last minute decision to switch things around as we're recording.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did that last year or something.
That's fair. I've done it before.
Yeah. So yeah.
Anyway, sorry, not trying to color Deathloop. I just wanted to transition. Jeff, you finished Deathloop.
I did.
You looped to death.
I did loop the deaths
many times.
Yep.
How was it?
It was really good. Yeah, it was great. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, me going in. It's just reading like people's reception of this like completely after now that I'm finished and have context for it, especially as me who has not played arcane games. Does that make me want to go back and maybe play the Dishonors, which I was always at least somewhat interested in, because there are a lot of arcane fans like, okay, this is really good, but
yeah, especially Dishonored too. I know people,
Dishonored
love the level design in it. Like, I played some of Dishonored when it first came out, and I didn't really care for it, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, and I feel like those games, especially because it's more focused on stealth and everything, and like no kill runs and
pretty
like
different.
Yeah, where this is like, okay, you're killing everyone. I mean, you can kind of be stealthy, but if you get caught and everything goes to shit, then just mowing everyone down is a viable option.
The game is meant for you to be able to just go balls to the wall
and kind of experiment because of the whole loop system. So you're doing all this like missions multiple times, or you can do them multiple times. Right. There's a way to kind of limit the amount of times you're doing a particular mission.
All right.
You're just kind of going through the story paths, which is something that could definitely be a criticism of this game. Is now that I have gotten through it, and I think I might have mentioned it. It's been a good bit now, so I can't remember what all I said or how far exactly I was when we first talked about it on here. But there is like kind of a set story path. It's because I'm curious to go, like, I'm probably not going to do this because I'm lazy. But go back and watch some of those early trailers for it and like how much they might have emphasized player choice with the loops and stuff. Because part of me feels like they've emphasized that a little more than is actually in this game.
Yeah, and there's one thing that was interesting. Like me and you have talked about this game a decent amount, where you were kind of talking about how it was more crit path, more like pointing you along the line than you thought. You would know more because you played it. I don't know how transformative this actually is, but like I heard on Kotaku, not Kotaku Split Screen, Triple Click, the Jason Schreier and Kirk Hamilton's podcast, they were talking about Deathloop, and like Kirk played it where he immediately from the very jump turned off all the waypoint markers and everything that told you places to go, and Jason didn't, and Jason like kind of hated the game and Kirk loved it, and they were talking, and Jason sounded a lot like what you were saying of how like it was just like pointing. It was just like following a yellow line or something. It was like you just knew where to go almost at all times. And Kirk did. I don't know if that's something that like the game actually is crit path, and that would just like open it up a tiny bit, or if that would change things a lot. Like I don't know. It was interesting when I heard them talk about.
Okay, yeah. I no, I get what you're saying, and yeah, I didn't really know. Yeah, there is a marker that kind of tells you.
Default. I mean,
it
might not even know that you could turn it off.
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know how much that would change my opinion on it. It's not necessarily but I get why that would potentially like make Jason not like it as much. But it was just kind of like I just had a bit more to beat the game. You need to in one loop beat all the visionaries, kill them all in one loop. What I mean by like there's like one path really to it is there's really only one way to do it.
Like you have to do it in a certain order. Like
you
figuring it out might take you
like there, in the morning you have to do this, and then noon you do this, and night you have to kill these people to end it.
Right.
That's kind of more what I meant.
Gotcha.
And as far as like where and everything, I mean, you kind of have some leeway in how to kill them, but not as much as you might like.
Right.
Or the way that might have made it sound. More what I meant. I mean, it's still a lot of fun and everything, and I kind of like finding out lore and everything and characters' connections to each other is very interesting, and just kind of the history of this island. And yeah, how long have they been doing this? What exactly is Colt's relationship? Because he wakes up with amnesia to this, and just kind of going into more details of, okay, Colt can retain his memories between loops each day. Juliana can as well. No one else can.
Right.
So it's just kind of getting all those little lore things. And again, the connection between Colt and the Visionaries, like their past and histories together, as well as the Visionaries like together. Because throughout it, you're finding like emails and recordings of the Visionaries communicating between each other.
Right.
And some of that's used as information to figure out how to break the loop, and some of it is just kind of world building stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is like I would have to think of like how much of it is you can find or not. I don't know if this is a big complaint, because I'm not against this. Obviously, in some games I enjoy it, but just the way maybe Deathloop presents itself, maybe some of this world building, some of the more interesting stuff could have been more like forefront, like players has to see this kind of thing.
A little bit too much audio log or something.
Yeah, it feels like if you just do nothing but the crit path and nothing else, like maybe you can miss some
you wouldn't know a lot of things going on.
Yeah, there's some stuff you can miss to it. It feels like.
Right.
I might be wrong on that, but it kind of felt that way a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a very cool idea for a game that maybe just oversold some areas or improperly sold some areas or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, yeah. I mean, the idea is cool. It does seem like it would be it'd be kind of hard. It's kind of hard to make a game in that structure, but also make it feel like this coherent story when people can kind of do things in different orders.
Yeah, and I can also get it because I feel like we're getting a lot of these loop games are kind of more low budget thing with lower art styles, so they can kind of get away with more things to kind of mix things up, like Hades, for example, as far as like the roguelike kind of thing.
Right. And I mean, Hades, you got all your story like whenever you died and went back to the thing, but I mean, it still did feel, the pace felt satisfying and still felt nice. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you do get a lot of story stuff. A lot of stuff can come from whenever you're going out of your bunker to go to an area to do whatever the fuck you're doing. Juliana usually calls you as you're walking out and giving you some tidbits. That's where some of the bombs were dropped.
Right.
Just nothing in particular. I didn't necessarily do anything particular. I guess some things might have triggered it. But she's like, oh, this. And you're like, what?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What did you think? I know it's probably hard without spoiling it, but were you satisfied with the like resolution of the big mystery of everything that's going on, or did worries like? How do you feel about the ending of this? 'Cause it seems like a lot of this is built on like, why the fuck are we here? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah. There are multiple endings. The ending I got, I didn't mean to get it without going into why that happened. Like, okay, this is a cool ending. My gut reaction was to do this other thing, so might have preferred to get that, but.
Brian, were you satisfied?
Oh yeah. I think it was a cool thing, and at least what I looked at some of the other stuff once I got done with it, it's like, okay, this stuff can make sense, or why players might choose this, or maybe Colt does, or whatever. Especially throughout this, you meet like multiple versions of Colt that are just kind of like, I don't know, like time remnant type things or whatever. They're just in there. I'm not really sure what all that was necessarily all about. But just, it was kind of cool because I think they were all like, all their models were different than your default Colt. There was like all the different costumes you can technically get for Colt, which I didn't unlock any of them, so I have no idea how those unlocked. But yeah, that was kind of cool. It's like, okay, yeah, it's kind of going into, this is Colt kind of in different times or realities and stuff, and kind of showing, okay, yeah, and Juliana kind of implies, you've done this a lot. We've been through this song and dance a lot. Yeah. And the other cults are kind of like, yeah, we have.
82 years.
Yeah.
Well, fun.
Yeah,
Definitely.
fun game. Powers are fun, though I think there were a couple in particular that were kind of overshadowed the other ones for sure.
Definitely seemed that way just from watching you.
Yeah, a couple weapons that seemed to, again, overshadow, like the rifle was kind of absurd.
Yeah, it seemed like the AI was very exploitable.
Very exploitable. But sometimes with the AI, I know is a tricky thing. It's about finding that right balance between being dumb as shit and being smart. But if they're too smart, then it's just annoying and not fun.
Being almost omniscient.
Yeah, that's why it's like I think like Hitman's perfect balance, but it's kind of what the kind of game it is.
Yeah. And Hitman is kind of like all about exploiting the AI. It's all
Yeah.
about exploiting things like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like once you do get caught and do it, you're most likely dead at least.
Yeah, right. And Hitman's supposed to be like if you're like fighting and doing all this crazy stuff, you fucked up. Isn't it? You're fucking...
All right, Darby.
Surprise pick.
Surprise pick. A game. It's a new game, right? New game.
New.
New, yeah.
It has a new.
There's a new little game called Fortnite.
Yeah, I think you got it. I think you got it. Nailed it.
Yeah, Fortnite. Yeah, that's it. Having a small little niche character called Spider-Man added recently.
You know, we like to shine light on like smaller indie games.
Yeah.
You know, just smaller, lesser known games. You know, someone might listen to this and might, you know,
like
want
Epic Games, the little man.
You know, it's like, yeah, you know, just go toss a coin, you know.
To your Witcher.
Man, when's Geralt gonna be in there? You know,
I think it's a matter of time.
Geralt with a fucking AK-47. Let's go, baby.
The question is, a Henry Cavill a video game? It's the answer is both.
Both.
The answer is both.
Both. And Roach.
Yes. Yes.
We've been playing Fortnite.
We have been playing Fortnite.
That's surprising. I mean, I will pride myself, and I think you do too. And I've never been one of these like cynical people of like, I hate Fortnite because it's popular or anything or whatever. It's just never really a game I played. I tried it a few times and like never really got into it. And I was like, I appreciate this from afar because like all the crossovers and the stuff that I just hear about it doing is bonkers and crazy. But I ended up playing because I have some friends who are super big into it. So like kind of let them show me and carry me through a bunch of games. And then I kind of seeped that over into you and our friend group. And then now we've played a lot of Fortnite the last like week or so. And like that game is really, really fun. I know, big shocker, this super popular game. There's a reason why it's popular. But there's so much going on that map, and there's so many different things that can happen in any given game.
I think I mentioned this to you late last night when we were talking. I think it was a good time for us to get into Fortnite because I think it's been at this place for a while, but you know, for us, because like you said, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of crazy kooky stuff, but not all of it was there in the beginning, so it had time to kind of evolve completely into what it is now to kind of maybe more appeal to us. Like I might be completely wrong in this, but I swear I saw this like with the sliding and everything, that it's a big part that, you know, we like to do and very important.
Like
I think that was added kind of recently, and obviously something that's kooky that's only gonna be here for the season to get us it. Like, you know, we're enjoying is like the Spider-Man webs.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know, that kind of crazy wackiness, and we're just walking around and there's Kratos from God of War. Or there's Thanos.
That still hasn't worn off for me sometimes.
Oh, fuck, it's The Rock shooting us.
Oh my god, that moment was insane because there's NPCs all around the world. And
that's another thing. Sorry, go ahead.
I just talking about this one. I mean, like I knew from them telling me it's like if you shoot the NPCs, they'll get mad at you and shoot back at you. And I had a few that did that. I was like, oh no, get away from it. Okay,
fucking Alex.
In this one area, and then I was like inside looting something, and suddenly I hear this like boom, 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 like this huge explosion going on. And like two of our people immediately die. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I walk out, and I hear someone say, "It's The Rock! It's The Rock!" And The Rock is it's like actually played by The Rock. He's a new character, and Alex had shot one of his henchmen, so he comes down like in this jetpack and this rocket launcher, and just was completely annihilating us. And like Jeff and like just got home, we were screaming. It was like The Rock is trying to fucking kill us! Oh my god! And we did beat him. I was the only one alive for at the end, but we did.
I was saying, like, again, stuff they added, like NPCs being as prominent as they are, and this was not a thing in early Fortnite. That's just one of those things that they added. They've just consistently added things, and just will be an interesting thing now that we're kind of more in it, and just because we've heard about it, it's like, okay, yeah, this map will evolve. It'll be interesting to see the changes and all that.
Yeah, this is a completely new map. I'm pretty sure right now it's like I think the lore is that it flipped upside down, and this is like the other side, so it'll probably flip back again or something. Yeah, they'll do things. They do lots of crazy things. Like my friend Travis was talking about, like the whole world like flooded one time. It was like slowly the water was going down and so revealing what was underneath the water the whole time. So it was like,
yeah, and I think I watched Easy Ally stream. I think there's like a little ice thing at the moment where there's like a hole where it's like someone's breathing, so people think there's like a giant hitting under a pile of snow or something like that.
I mean, that's the type
and it's like steadily going to melt throughout the season.
I mean, you can totally get, and I always knew, but you can totally get why people like this is just their game that they play and get into and everything, because they keep it so interesting. I mean, I hate to do it all the time, but when you compare it to Overwatch or even some of these other games, Fortnite is just such a living and breathing thing that they just like people have. When I talk to my group of friends that all play it or whatever, like they talk about, they have like nostalgia for different eras of Fortnite, like back in this season when this thing happened, whatever. This is a multiplayer battle royale game, and they're talking about like, oh yeah, when so and so did, or when this thing happened. Like that's just Epic knows what they're doing with this. They have definitely like just the amount they keep the game very fresh, and it feels like I'm walking into a game that has been building up for 4 years, which it has.
Yeah, and just like people like you mentioning those people getting nostalgia, like them taking out parts of the like original map, and then I think the last season or this season or whatever, I know they brought back a place or two, and was like, oh, it's that place from the first map. Oh man, I used to love this place,
right?
And just kind of stuff like that, and again, you're keeping people excited about the map, like adding stuff like the Daily Bugle into seasons. It's like, oh, here's something from a completely different franchise, not just a skin, but just literally a building or something from it, landmark.
I mean, that's the beautiful thing about Fortnite is that like, and I don't mean this as an insult at all. It's kind of like its style is like kind of generic enough that like its style is everything. Like anything from pop culture can come in here, and it's just like a giant celebration of just all of pop culture, and it doesn't really feel out of place. Like you have like a Fortnite map, and then randomly have Spider-Man and the Daily Bugle and everything, and it's just like, yep, that's just part of the world. It's like
you have Sasuke swinging around with Spider-Man webs, holding the Leviathan axe. Because why not?
Because why the fuck not? It's fun. It's like, I mean, it's like this is the epitome of like, we talk about with
shit posting.
Yes, but like even we talk about like Multiverse or Smash roster, and they're like, no, you can't put him because they're not a Nintendo kid. They're not whatever. It's like, who fucking cares? Is it fun? Add it. That's what Fortnite feels like. Fortnite feels like everyone has some piece of something here. There's gonna be a lot of things you don't give a shit about, and there's gonna be a lot of things you do care about. It's just like everyone's welcome. It's a just giant big party.
Well, One Piece is now currently rumored. I'm like, fuck.
They gonna get them Jeff bucks.
I gotta be Luffy. Gotta get Olivia in so I can be Luffy.
I immediately bought Jinx, so And there's definitely some old skins that I would pay money for and buy right now if they actually let me. But
so it'd be cool. This would be a lot of work. I just thought about it. I know they're not gonna do it, but it'd be dope if Luffy was added in like this season or whatever. And for the Spider-Man
arms,
like when he got the Spider-Man webs instead of the webs, it's just his arms.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be wonderful.
I mean, that's a lot of unnecessary work, but it'd be cool.
See this giant floppy arm.
It's the stretchy man.
Oh no.
But when Shrek though,
just like again, that has not gotten old to me when I just see someone, and we had a moment where it was like 4 of us walking up to this house, and Kratos just opens the door, and we all just unload on him like he had no clue we were there, just watching Kratos go like die. Like, what is this game?
Yep. We also won a decent amount.
Yeah, and we did win a lot. When you have a account that's first starting out, pretty easy to win. It has progressively gotten harder and harder to win, for sure. But we are still getting into like the final 5 at least, usually, which I'm happy about. But people can get pretty sweaty.
We're getting better, so.
And like building is not as hard as I thought it would be to build a base amount. To build like an amount to be like I have some cover, especially like in the early fights, early even mid fights. I feel like I can build enough to win those battles and everything. When you get to the end, then there's people who just like really know what the fuck they're doing, obviously.
Erect the Taj Mahal in 5 seconds.
I have to kind of get lucky for some of those. But in general, I thought it would always be like building and something. It's like, I wish it wasn't in the game. I'm just not gonna, can't do it. Like, I actually kind of like it. I like it being an element of the game. It's cool. Yep. Fortnite. Who knew?
Yep.
And I was also just gonna say last thing. I think of all these multiplayer games, because we have like, especially me, Alex, and Preston's that have like a good selection now that we're kind of like dipping in between, whether it's like Overwatch League, Fortnite, Valorant, Halo, all these. I think Fortnite is probably like the best one for you just have a group of varying skill levels and you just kind of want like some casual fun. Like,
Yeah.
I think because like all these games are fun, but this one is just like, I mean, so far it's just like you're gonna have a good time. There's like almost no chance you're not gonna have a good time because there's just a lot to do. There's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of just like you driving the car, hanging out. There's like, it's just the pacing of it is cool and it's kind of easy breezy, just jolly time. A lot more than the kind of very sweaty League of Legends everything, which is still always gonna be my main game, but it's.
So, Dari, are we going to be one of those people that stream the major Fortnite events when we're available to do them?
Sure, why not? I definitely, now that I'm in it, when the next one's coming up, I'm probably going to try to log on for it. I've never logged on for any of those. I hate that I missed like the Ariana Grande concert and stuff. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do a fucking Slayer show, right?
Fuck yeah. Slayer will come back. It's an NFT.
God. Loud. Well, Jeff, let's get into some news.
Actually, Dari, we're not getting to the news yet because I have another game. I have started today
Right.
a Plague Tale Innocence.
Oh, fuck. The reveal.
Yep.
Hit it from his own co-host.
Yep.
The betrayal. Top 10 anime betrayals. Top 10 rat betrayals.
Yep. I can't believe I played a game without you knowing.
This has never happened before. Ever.
Never. Never ever.
How them rats, boy?
There are a lot of rats. Lots of them.
How many rats can you fit on the screen?
I don't know.
Are there seas of rats, or is that just a new thing for the new one?
I haven't gotten
into
to
a lot of rats in those trailers.
Yeah. Not necessarily to the level that there are in the trailers. I have to go up once I get done. Go back to those trailers because some things contradict what I know from this game. I'm like, okay, those rats, they're up to something. But yeah,
it's freaking Suicide Squad ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ratcatcher is the main boss.
Yeah.
Gonna have to kill her in two.
How's the game?
It's a lot of fun so far. It's I kind of knew some stuff, but again, like a lot of these games I'm interested in, and try to stay away from too much information. So go in as fresh as possible. Kind of figured this was the case, but it's interesting to see it in practice with what I'm used to. This is not a combat heavy game for sure. It is a lot of sneaking around. You are playing as a teenage girl, and the game is like you are a teenage girl. You are not wiping out these dozen army guys.
Right.
Knights. You are going to get past them, especially since you are watching your 5-year-old brother, which is also interesting compared to like The Last of Us and games like that where you do have like a little like a kid younger companion thing or whatever, and they're there, but they can walk right in front of the person and it's like they don't exist. Right. Where it's like, oh, you can't get spotted. Neither of you can start. Like the kid's holding your hand most of the time.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, do you have to deal with the kid having dumb AI or something running out in front of people?
Now the kid, it might get that way later. But I can see there being a story segment where the kid's like being disobedient or some shit maybe. And you have to deal with that. But the controls for the kid are pretty straightforward right now, where it's most of the time he's like holding your hand and following your lead. You can tell him to stay, and then you can walk and do something, and then tell him to come on, or because he's a kid, naturally, you send him into smaller spaces that you can't go to.
Right.
So do stuff like that at the moment.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
And getting, I haven't played much. I'm blanking on names already.
Can't help you.
Yeah, the girl you play as, she's a little girl. She doesn't have a bunch of rubbish. She has like a sling, so she's just like slinging and throwing rocks at people in pots.
Do you just like stun them or something for a second?
I did upgrade it, so if they don't have a mask on and I do a headshot, it does kill.
Oh shit!
But there's not a lot of opportunity to do it because everyone's always surrounded by someone, so they'll see it.
That little girl has a KDA.
Yeah. And it's like if you're caught, odds are you're going to die because just one hit kills.
Yeah.
So it's kind of more of a just pure survival thing. And obviously, kind of some puzzle elements to how you're going to get through, trying to survive. I'm, still early in the game. I just got through chapter 4. I'm not sure how many chapters there are. It was originally pretty straightforward. It kind of told you what to do, or at least it was obvious. This last section I did, which I think is a good sign for this game, felt like it's, for the most part, more open-ended. As far as like how you could do it, like not as obvious, like you have to do this, and just more to explore, like maybe try to explore and all that. Because I got to the end of it and I saw another opening. It's like, I could have gone like a completely different way to get here, which is good in my opinion.
How does it control?
Fine. I mean, it's nothing like crazy or anything.
Yeah, I know that like a lot of people I heard talk about this game was like they really like the game. It has problems. I heard a lot of that. It was like it's rough around the edges. I think the sequel will be better. Is the thing that I heard a lot.
I can definitely see that because it definitely feels like like my mind goes to like Hellblade. Right. The original one. I know I haven't played it, but where it's it's a double A studio trying a triple A style of game,
right.
which is what this game is, and like there's a certain charm to that, and I can already see like this game was a huge success, so I imagine they'll build off of this, have more funding, I assume. So the sequel.
Yeah, no, I mean I don't like
step up,
criticize or shun it at all for that. Like Hellblade is like a very special experience to me and everything. Even though I was pretty damn frustrated by the end of it, but it's like I appreciated it was like it's trying things or doing like it felt different than your normal AAA game or whatever. So like I can respect that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like the controls are nothing fantastic, but they're just not like a crazy amount of like stuff. Not really a bunch of combat stuff, so the fields and controls, at least where I'm at right now, is not like a crazy important thing.
Yeah. Are you interested in the story?
Oh yeah, very interesting. Just kind of.
So it's like a weird bubonic plague thing, but kind of sci-fi, or like kind of fantastic. In some ways.
Inquisitors are there to kind of. Like their two main threats, the rats and the plague, as well Inquisitors, who are like for some reason after your brother. Who is sick and has weird headaches. I'm like, okay, what is your deal? Because again, like obviously there's some weird supernatural, at least to a point, fuckery going on because these rats are fucking insane. I know the plague was a thing, but this is a little different than the plague, than the straight up plague.
Yeah.
So I am curious to see like how far they go with.
He's gonna become a rat,
probably. He's gonna become the Rat King. So that's all interesting and all that, but this game is pretty brutal. But they're not afraid to kill everyone and anyone, from my experience so far, and let you see it. It's kind of it. Yeah, I've seen my player character get impaled by a spear.
Nice.
So they may not go for like the small children, but everyone else is fair game.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I've seen Lara Croft had seen like spears go through her fucking brain and stuff.
Yeah,
that was a weird thing that those games did. Seemed kind of incongruous with the rest of the game, but it's like we're gonna gruesomely murder Lara Croft over and over again. Anyway,
fatality,
Plague Tale. That's exciting. I expect you to get to it at some point. Coming, but
I got a couple of these games like Hellblade and Alan Wake. And I guess Control along with that, where there's like, okay, there are sequels coming for these games at some point that I want to play. It's like, okay, let me get through these whenever there's downtime. It's like, okay, I know a Plague Tale is like probably a little over 10 hours or something like that. So let's see if I can get through it / most of it before Arceus and those games start coming out. Especially since that is the one that's coming out this year. So just whenever we get the release date and that shit, I'm ready.
Gotcha.
Especially since Plague Tale 2 on Game Pass. Day one,
I didn't even know that. No.
Yeah, I remember that announcement. I'm like, oh, okay. Better get to Plague Tale.
Probably incentivizes more. You're probably not the only one that was like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah, that's obviously a huge get for Game Pass for day one. So, I mean, I figured I was going to love this game. I'm really liking it so far. So I expect to be very positive of it. Can you be very positive of it and love it by then?
Hell yeah.
Excited for
Well,
the sequel.
now, Jeff, hit me with a news jingle.
Jingle, jingle, jangle. The first one of 2022.
That's right. And not the last. Unless, a hurricane kills us right now.
Oh, shit. All right, we're starting with technically, I guess, an announcement, weirdly, not really, of the PlayStation VR 2. It's technically the announcement of it, of his name and some details of
Was
it.
that just a leak when we've heard it before?
They announced they're the next gen headset, but they like no further details and showed off the controllers.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the revealing of the headset, even though we haven't seen it. I don't know. People like their headlines.
I'm just looking at this headline. There's a lot of the same words over there. PlayStation VR 2 and PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah. And there were a lot of leaks with as far as the details what we have talked about. So we may not necessarily go to all the nitty gritty, but let me go through at least some of the main things to confirm. So yeah, PSVR 2 announced, going to be compatible with the PS5. It's going to have higher visual fidelity, 4K HDR, 110 degree field of view, which sounds nice. OLED screen, 2000 by 2040 resolution per eye, and smooth frame rates of 90 plus 120 hertz. Headset based controller tracking, which is kind of like the Oculus Quest in there, where there's cameras on the headset. So no external camera shit.
Right,
it is the headset.
That's good.
The camera's on there.
That's definitely a lot better.
Yes. And new sensory features, a bunch of crazy shit. It has eye tracking, which sounds insane. Which I think could be a very interesting thing. Like Easy Allies brought it up, instead of just looking like, and it's maybe like it just being on the screen, it being able to, like, some stuff will interact just based on where you're actually looking.
Feels like that could mess up.
It could.
It's not.
It's something that will probably not actually be used, but if it can somehow be used well done, it sounds cool.
It could actually be good. Yeah. I could easily see it being, no, shit, damn it. That's not what damn it.
I think this is probably announced, but haptic feedbacks are going to be in the controllers. I don't think it's going to be a big surprise. I think that was the main things about it.
Someone said it was just one cord.
Yes, one cord, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I get people want none, but there's no way that was going to happen.
It'd be nice to have none. Like, obviously the Quest has none, but anything like just it needs to be simpler. Because PSVR is such a pain to set up. Right now.
The fact that there is no camera and it's just one cord. It's just you just plug the USB-C into the console.
Still way more likely to do it, because I've kind of been wanting to play Beat Saber recently, but I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, I need to. I've been meaning to. I need to get to the thing where I can do the modding thing on the Quest. So I remember that being a pain.
Yeah, I would just have to use your Quest, but I also want to play all the songs that we bought.
Yeah. So, I think that was the main thing. So yeah, let's talk about it in general, Darby. As well, they also announced, though, Horizon Call of the Mountains. Showed a little teaser trailer about that new Horizon game, co-developed by Guerrilla and Firesprite. Exclusive PSVR 2, going to play as a new playable character. Aloy and other familiar faces are going to appear in the game.
Yeah. But we don't know anything about what the game actually is, right? Like,
I don't think so. I don't think they've said, like, specifically, like, what is going to be like.
I'm wondering how much of a game, how much of an experience. We're still in that weird VR thing. Where sometimes when it's just a thing for a game, you just don't know how meaty it's going to be. But
it sounds like it's going to be the way they're sounding, it is going to be like a game, but yeah, as far as how actiony it's.
But I'm sure you'll agree with me. I just didn't expect to be here where a PSVR 2 is coming and we have like new Sony games are still getting VR things attached to them. I just really thought. I really thought this was that.
This is where the double-edged swords happens for me, Darby. Yeah. Because I now have a Quest. I love VR and all that kind of stuff. I'm the VR guy.
He is the VR.
I was planning on not getting this headset, but the fact that they announced a Horizon game for it, it's not the Horizon game specifically about it, because I haven't played Horizon, so I have no attachment to the franchise. Yeah, that's like you just said. It kind of shows, okay, they're going to continue to make stuff for it. So if it's just like just Astrobot 2, it's like that's not worth even me considering buying the headset for and all that kind of stuff. But if they're occasionally like throwing like I don't know, Infamous or whatever, these random franchises, or making these other crazy new IPs for it, it's like, God damn it.
If they're media, I mean, it's definitely a way to see. I mean, even you look back at the VR. I mean, it was cool to have it because it was definitely like early adopter, new tech type thing. But
it was just by far the cheapest option at that point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we don't regret having it and everything, but especially looking back now, as far as like things you can get on PSVR that you can't get other places that are actually worth having the system for, it's literally just Astrobot. And then is there anything else really that is just like worth going out and getting a VR to play that you can't get on the Quest that you already have?
Well, at least before recently, and I know that this obviously changes things, and this is more of a me thing. Obviously, Resident Evil 2 is a big, or 7, sorry, is a big one. I know it's a game you can play regularly, all that kind of stuff, but I really love that experience. I mean, and Hitman and stuff, but that's now coming to PC, so that's a big blow to PSVR, which I'm happy about.
If it were me, I would just be thinking the vast majority of things that PSVR are going to get are also going to come to Oculus.
Oh, 100%.
And there's only going to be a handful of things that you really miss out on by having the Oculus and not having that. At least from where I'm sitting right now, projecting into the future, that's what I think. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe
I think you're probably right, because like Sony, like you, I'm kind of surprised they are kind of throwing Horizon Gauntlet down for
and
this.
It's not even just specific. It's just like we're doing this again. It's like I'm not even saying it in a bad way, but there was the Spider-Man experience that was like almost nothing. But it was like those little things are like the fact that there's more PSVR and they're doing more of these things. I'm like, I just really thought we were done with this. Like it was dead. I do think that like to make PSVR 2 work, they're gonna have to be more aggressive, a lot more aggressive, because I think the VR landscape is a lot different now than when the first one came out. I think it's a lot, because when PSVR came out, it was really your only real option if you weren't gonna get a super expensive, gonna get a really nice PC, and like you'd have to pay like upwards of $900 to $1,000 to get the original Oculus and to actually have it work and everything.
Now you have a $300 standalone headset that plays Resident Evil 4 in VR.
Right, like it's a totally different calculus. Like they kind of won by default of just being the cheapest option.
Quest is going to supposed to have an exclusive GTA. Like it was with Vice City in VR. Yeah, that was announced a while ago. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. That sounds fun.
I mean, because now all of a sudden, the Quest is the cheaper option, because this requires you to have a PS5.
Yes.
If you can even get your hands on the fucking PS5 by the time this comes out.
Yeah, and I think spec-wise, this is either comparable to it or maybe even stronger than the Quest, which it may not be the most surprising thing because it will use the PS5.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's coming out later.
Yeah.
But I mean, the PSVR was weaker than the other ones, and it still sold decently well because it was the cheapest thing. It doesn't have that anymore, and I really think it's going to have its work cut out for it to get that player base. I mean, I'm a little nervous about PSVR 2's success without Sony getting like I said, they're going to have to get aggressive with like making the games.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I'm curious about price point. Because
but like, even it doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter how cheap it is, because you have to have you have to have a $500 PS5.
Yeah,
that's impossible to get.
It's kind of different depending, again, because obviously Quest is put out at a loss. Yeah, it's like is Sony going to be as aggressive as putting it out for a similar price point?
I'm not convinced that they will.
Yeah, I know that's what I mean.
Because I still, even though they're doing this, I still think they only have one foot in the water here.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were going to cut their losses. They didn't cut their losses, but I'm still not convinced that they're going to be like, this is going to be a pillar of our company, because I don't think that they're convinced this is going to be a success either. I think they're still kind of hedging their bets on this. That's the feeling I get. I could be wrong.
Plus, we're in a smug Sony era, so they'll be like, hey, I know that Quest is nice and anything, but we have Horizon.
That is legitimately probably going to be their business model, is that we have God of War, we have Horizon, but if you don't put like serious effort into those games, it's just going to be like another kind of experience thing that just like comes and goes. it doesn't really matter how big. You had a Spider-Man thing too. It's like if it's not real
But
quality.
in general, I'm glad they're continuing going forward, even if it's like not. They don't go as far as I would like them to go for it, or they don't go make as many games I would like for it. Because if the Horizon game, for example, is good, I think that's just good for the VR space to show more of like, hey, here's what a quote unquote AAA VR game looks like. Because we are getting more of those where they're kind of more full games and more normal game-esque kind of things. So just getting more people to make those things, I think, is just good for the
more is better
VR.
with that. This will make Oculus better, which will make PSV. Like the competition is always what you want.
The one thing I'm not looking forward to, but also kind of looking forward to, is now VR haters complaining every time in the Sony conference where we get to the VR section.
Yeah, it's you can't get away. You thought you were done.
Yep. But also as me, who, probably not going to end up getting this, but has a Quest, is like, hey, here's some stuff that might be on the Quest at some point. Not necessarily the Sony, published and made games, but other random shit.
Things they just made a deal with.
Yeah. Like Hitman.
I just wish this shit didn't make me so sick. This is a bummer. Half-Life Alyx, I was like, I can't. I just can't.
I'm glad I don't get that way.
Yeah.
Or at least not easily.
Yeah.
Because I spent the money on this.
Yep. I'm glad you did, because now it's like, I never will. It's like, that's just Beat Saber's like the only thing that doesn't make me sick.
Oh shit, this month Hitman 3 VR is coming out on PC. Main thing I'm excited about is I can able to actually move my hands, and it's not just the controller. That'll be so nice.
Very, very big upgrade. Very, very big upgrade.
I want it. Okay, Darry, moving on. We're staying with the Sony. And kind of smug Sony related. Darry, let's talk about Days Gone. Well, let's first actually talk about Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, this roller coaster.
Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima, they announced, sold over 8 million copies. Very good. Like in about an 18-ish month span.
8 biggins.
Very good. Yeah, I think obviously easily best-selling Sucker Punch game, yada, yada, yada. Probably also the whole Sly trilogy.
No, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure Sly 2 also hit 8 million copies. I'm pretty sure. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. But I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, they're Sony tallying that around everything. Ghost of Tsushima is obviously going to get a sequel. Like they haven't announced it. Obviously,
they surprised the baby.
It's sorry. But it's obviously going to. But a game that that Sony has already pretty much confirmed is not getting a sequel, people kind of want, is Days Gone. What's kind of interesting, though, there is some little. We'll get to it. Days Gone director Jeff Rosswith, since left Sony, since making the game, has claimed that Days Gone had sold 8 million copies in roughly the same amount of time. But maybe the problem with that stat is he said after the fact that he got that stuff based on trophy data from GameStat. May got some of the number for that, so it might be kind of inaccurate. So it's kind of more of a range.
Yeah.
But not an exact number, so who knows. But I think the general point still stands that based on what it looked like, Days Gone did sell decently comparable to Ghost of Tsushima in a similar time frame, and has since been on Steam, and it looks like it has sold 1 million plus on there alone since then as well. But Sony just quickly threw it the wayside, like, no.
Yeah, the way they treat these two games are pretty much polar opposite.
Yeah, and it seems the main difference is our review scores.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima getting roughly 87-ish on Metacritic. Days Gone getting like a 71,
right?
I think it was.
Yeah, that's about right.
Which I think that the critical review of it looking like to be the deciding factor, not the best way maybe to go, because it seems like based on what people who played the game said, Ben was looking at the future, setting up stuff for a sequel. Fans want it because Days Gone is one of those games that the fan reception is a lot more positive than the critical review.
Right.
Which, honestly, in my opinion, I'm not saying critical opinions aren't important or anything, but I think the fan reception is probably the most important one.
I 100% agree, and this is coming from someone that I generally side with a lot more. When there's a split in something, I'm usually more on the critic side of that. It's just usually where I fall in movies or in game, especially movies, but in a lot of these things, that's usually where I fall. And I had no interest in Days Gone for a lot of reasons. That being said, yeah, no. The critics are absolutely not the ones that you're trying to please here, that you should be making your business choices for. It's the actual people who buy your games, and it's the players and everything. And it's like, yeah, no, if something was put out, critics don't like it, but it sold a bunch, and like, you know, like, yeah, even if Ghost of Tsushima sold more, it like sold somewhere close where like a sequel would make sense. You've given sequels to other things for less and everything. Fucking Nat got a sequel. It's, you know, it's like these things can happen. Like, yeah, there's really no reason to do it if the people are gonna be there. Kind of, who cares?
Well, yeah, and also just a couple of things to add to it. This is kind of weird. I mean, you know, we kind of scoff at it, and us as the gaming community views review scores
as
kind of skewed.
The elites in our ivory tower.
So I mean, sevens aren't bad. Like,
no, they're not.
Like, sevens aren't bad games. We're now programmed that if it's even an 8, a lot of people consider it bad. Like, oh, what's wrong with it? Like, something's got to be tragically wrong. It's like, no.
That's a good score.
But also, the fans obviously, I know, agree with this, and a lot of the critics I know, I've heard, you know, have this sentiment. Days Gone, you know, good game and everything, not necessarily the greatest game ever, but the potential of a sequel is astounding. The you know, the structure is there. They can only go up from here, and it's like they easily see how it can improve. Everyone agreed on that,
right?
And it's like they're just not making it.
Yeah, I mean, you could take things like Assassin's Creed, for example. I think the first Assassin's Creed, or Mass Effect even. I think the first ones of those were like, yeah, they're all right.
Yeah.
They're okay. They got a lot of problems, but they're okay. Go on to become huge, massive things, and they're like, you know, so sequential things and everything. That kind of stuff can happen, and just not to mention, I mean, I think Days Gone just like, I think some of the most interesting things are those games that like some people love, some people hate, and it's like that. I think that can be very interesting, and like I think Days Gone is one of those that like, for some people who have a very negative review and have all these problems, that might be the exact reason why these other people really like the game and everything. And I think that there's a lot of people that really like Deacon and liked. There's a lot of things about that open world, like filling up your gas tank. It had some kind of survival-y things about it. Like, it was definitely doing some cool things, even if it was not something I wanted to play. And just fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter if it got freaking 4 out of 10s. If your audience is satisfied, you did it. You won. I mean, and like, this is speaking for someone that I probably don't want. You know, I wouldn't be interested in more Days Gone games or whatever, but they should be made. I mean, like, that's. I think these are very interesting to compare, because like, yeah, it's very true that like, really the only thing separating these things is that Ghost of Tsushima was a critical darling, and you see that even in just like the montages of Sony things, you would just not even realize that Days Gone was a game that came out for them, and it's just Ghost of Tsushima in every montage and everything like that. And it's also a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you completely acting like Days Gone doesn't exist probably hurts its sales a lot, you know. Like that probably makes it even worse or whatever. It doesn't necessarily, it would not necessarily surprise me if Sony is a company that's way too obsessed with being a prestige thing that's like almost like Oscar bait type of, you know, the equivalent of like Oscar bait type of thing, when like, I just think that's like almost always, I mean, great if you get critical acclaim and commercial success, great, but it's definitely not, you know. Not what you need to search
they
for.
do seem to, I mean, we've talked about, they seem to focus on, the Oscar baitiness of stuff more. And they do release games that don't fall in stuff, being like Astro's Playroom and the like. And Asobi's is going to continue being a studio and stuff. They release Sackboy and all that kind of shit. But those are smaller scale games in general. For sure. It's
part of the Sony problem that we've been like kind of talking about for the last few years now, where it's like, they make very good games, but they make the same type, and they make that cinematic third-person action adventure type of game
with varying degrees of open worldness,
right? With like semi-open world third-person action adventure games is like basically all they freaking make. They're very good at it, but like that's the most popular type of video game right now. I mean, it's honestly not actually. It's probably like a battle royale or like MOBA or something like that. But like
Within
this gaming
single
sphere,
player,
right? It's like the easiest, most popular type of game to make, and it's the one that just gets the most awards at the Game Awards and things like that. And I think Sony is very, 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 very into being the definitive number one company for that type of thing. Like they probably get the most awards of anyone. They probably love that. I think it makes their catalog kind of stale though. Like that's something that's just been a problem for several years. We've been talking about like God of War is amazing, Last of Us is amazing, Uncharted's amazing, Horizon's amazing, but they're all doing the same thing. They're all like kind of battering that same drum over and over again.
You left Horizon. You're in some ways burnt out with that genre and everything, so you're talking about maybe not getting the sequel.
Yeah,
or at least anytime soon.
Even though there was really nothing wrong with the first one, it's just there can be too much of a good thing at some point. And like it's weird because Days Gone is kind of another one of those, but it's just it didn't get that critical reception that the other ones does. So like I think it kind of does. I don't know, but I do think it kind of shows a window into what Sony's priorities are. And I think
Nope. Yeah. You gotta get at least this much Metacritic and this much sales. Now imagine if Activision thought like that. Bye Call of Duty. Those review scores have been going down.
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm sorry.
You're not getting the review scores you do. We're moving on.
Funding our whole company, but no.
We're now a Crash Bandicoot. Everyone working on Crash Bandicoot.
Well, hey, maybe they should be doing this. Maybe they should think like this.
Crash Bandicoot Battle Royale. Now, there's an idea. When's Crash in Fortnite?
I'm honestly, well, maybe they just don't want him holding a gun. I don't know.
Nah. Now Tony Hawk holding the gun. All right, Darby. Time to talk about E3 and its impending demise.
Love a good funeral.
This comes from Rebecca Valentine from IGN. The ESA has canceled its in-person event for E3 2022, according to a statement shared with IGN by the ESA. But while they point to upcoming announcements, the future of the show this year and beyond remains unclear. Quote, due to the ongoing health risks surrounding COVID-19 and its potential impact on the safety of exhibitors and attendees, E3 will not be held in person in 2022, reads the statement sent to IGN by the ESA. We remain incredibly excited about the future of E3 and look forward to announcing more details soon, end quote. This effectively means that currently E3 2022's very existence is uncertain. With no date set and no physical event plan, that would theoretically leave a possibility for a digital showcase, but in a follow-up communication with IGN, the ESA added that it could not confirm at this time whether or not there would be a digital event this year instead of the physical event as there was in 2021. And it sounds like everyone's like, okay, it's this new version of the virus, yada yada, that did this. Well, it's looking like they canceled the whatever hold they had at the venue back in November before this really started, when everyone was thinking things were going to be more normal. So this seems to kind of general ESA thing.
It might just be, which ultimately is not the biggest surprising thing either way. How this goes, I don't know. Things have been trending down for at least the ESA's part of E3, because like me and you had this discussion where I'm not that doom and gloom about this, and I'm interested to see where you are. Like as far as I think, even if the ESA completely like comes out tomorrow and says we're done with E3, we're not doing E3 ever again, I still think this June we're gonna have a whole bunch of video game announcements, like more than any other month in the year outside of like December. I still think that will march on the way a semi-normal way it was, and I think next year it'll happen again, and next year it'll happen again, and next year it'll happen again.
I agree.
Whether it's like or not.
I kind of been saying that. I said it last year. I'm holding this opinion this year. We don't need E3 for this stuff to happen, like you're saying. We don't need necessarily E3, the ESA for the stuff to happen in June. I get why people want E3 still around, particularly the games journalists, because they like to go to the events and meet up with old friends and all that kind of stuff, which I get 100%.
And they get an unprecedented level of like access to just like
walk
up the thing.
That I get. But as far as general consumers go, there's not necessarily a reason we need E3
no.
for this stuff to happen. like I get it. It makes it easier to have everything in a week, but it doesn't actually have to be the ESA to do it. We have Jeff Keighley trying to do Summer Game Fest to kind of do it. I know it was really spread out last year. He said immediately afterwards, like, hey, I had to throw this together last minute, kind of. I agree completely. We're, talking about, mentioning anything that's in the Summer Game Fest thing that he's any communication with will be condensed to June, pretty much, is what he said.
Which is what we want. I mean, like,
so even if it's not the same week, it's still going to be fairly close together.
Right. Yeah, I think that's just, I mean, case in point, the last few years, some of the biggest conferences have not even technically been part of E3, and it didn't feel any difference to us.
Yeah.
It was like the conference still happened the same days they normally did, or close to the same day, and it was just like, boom, you had your Xbox, you had your Ubisoft, you had Nintendo, whatever, and it all happened. Whether it was part of E3 or not, to the fan experience, it's all E3. Like, it's all like the same. Like, as long as we're getting conferences that week or that month or whatever, that's E3 to us. Well, that's what E3 is to us.
Well, and honestly, sometimes I feel fan reactions to this stuff is weird, like where they're so focused on E3. Because honestly, the general fan base just bitches and moans about every fucking conference.
They do. They really do.
So it's like, what are you guys even wanting at this point? And especially,
that's what they want, Jeff. They want to complain.
Well, and they mainly talk about Sony, was done with E3 regardless of all of this anyway. And it's like the most, like, maybe at some point EA or Ubisoft may not do a conference. Are people really going to cry about that? Those are the ones people complain about the most.
I mean, last year we had conferences that we had no business having, like freaking Gearbox and things like that. It's like less could be more. The only worry, to play devil's advocate, even though it's something I do partially believe could happen, or at least happen this year before it's like wrangled in more, is like, I mean, you saw 2 years ago, whatever, when the first COVID thing, I kind of hate to have to say 2 years ago.
Yes.
But like whenever that was happening, I think the first like Summer Game Fest and all this stuff and everything getting like spread apart or whatever, it was too much. And it was like spread out. There was not a whole lot of cohesion to it. At least in compared to a E3, it felt kind of all over the place or whatever. And there is the worry that like, it doesn't need to be ESA. Like, there's nothing about ESA or E3 that needed to be that. But even the companies that got out of E3, they still, because there was E3, they kind of like went around the structure of E3. Like Microsoft was always part of E3, I guess. Still, weren't they?
Yeah.
But like EA is still like that.
Honestly, it's a weird thing. Like, I think Microsoft, one of those, was technically part of both, so they never said during their show it was E3 like they would in the past.
Yeah, that's why they
Nintendo. Weirdly enough, Nintendo, I think, was the only conference that was technically associated with E3 completely, because it wasn't done with the game. But again, that doesn't matter to us. Like, regardless, Nintendo will have a direct that month anyway.
It's a digital showcase.
Yeah. So who cares if there's E3 in the title?
Right. So the only worry is that just when there's not kind of governing body, for lack of a better word, saying like, this is the week, this is when this is happening, then you'll have too many people be like, well, we're gonna go do this in May, and we're gonna do 5 things across May, June, July, whatever, because there's no rules, and it's like, that gets diminishing returns real fast. Like, you saw Ubisoft had like 3 things in one of those summers, and you can't remember any of them because there was just so much garbage in there. It's like, this whole thing is better when it's compact, when it's like shorter things in a like short amount of time. And you do worry about losing some of that. I do think it's good that as E3 is declining, Jeff Keighley is trying to take over the stuff, and
Jeff Keighley's always been a name.
It's not been wonderful with that, but I think every year, especially if E3 does completely bow out and Keighley doesn't have to kind of compete with them, I feel like it'll get better if he's like, okay, Game Fest is going to be just June. It's kind of going to be like, it's just like all the things that happen.
Again, we'll have to see how it goes. I think like for other reason, there was still some really not much cohesion last year. Just people still trying to figure some stuff out. And kind of balance between the E3 and the Jeff thing and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like as the years go on, Jeff is kind of obviously gets more closer ties to all the major companies at this point, so it's easier.
He's about to be if E3 collapses and if like Summer Game Fest kind of takes its place, he is literally all of video game. Like, he has Game Fest, Gamescom, and Game Awards. It's kind of crazy how that man has just inserted himself into the gaming announcement cycle. Like he just is. He is gaming announcement.
Yeah, that's why I don't get why
crazy.
People giving him a bad rap. It's like, hey, we could just have nothing, and you know.
He's a busy man. No, I respect him.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think the whole diminishing return things. Yeah, if there's no government body in a couple years, that can obviously happen. But at least I think for the foreseeable future, at least next couple years, because marketing is such plans so far in advance and all that kind of stuff, and it's obviously revolving around the E3 time slot.
Like if anyone reading this stuff thinks like because E3 is collapsing, it's just going to be a boring June with no announcements. It's like that's these games still got to be announced.
Yeah,
that's still like a hot time. It's not going to stop being a hot time.
Again, people again, at least for the next couple of years, everyone's marketing thing is going to revolve around that time. General time.
It's almost like a time thing anyway. It's like the E3 being in June, Game Awards being in December, these being the two big moments. I mean, it's more just because they're the half points of the year than it is anything else. It's just because you had to build up to it.
I mean, look at like Nintendo and Sony and as two big ones who have multiple showcases of their own kind of showcases per year, whether it be E3 showcases or not. They're all generally around the same time of year. Nintendo, I mean, sometimes it's not that way just because things happen or whatever, or they have lighter years or whatever. But we can kind of have an idea based on past years when they are going to have a showcase roughly.
Yeah.
Because that's when they have them every year. Like we're probably less than 2 months away from another Direct.
Yeah.
Because
the stuff
that's the way it works.
More or less predictable, and I don't think a random governing body having this thing is going to change.
At least the big ones, like we may not get WB games as now announced as much, and as an example, in May,
some of
June.
those will do. They might do their own thing. They might be like, we'll do. I mean, I imagine that. I imagine they're gonna probably keep like something like DC Fandom type of. Going.
But like the big ones, like the Ubisoft, the EAs, Nintendos, Microsoft, Sony's, probably still always going to have at least for the next couple of years,
a summer thing at the very least. It's like
even if it's not in June. But again, Sony was like, for example, was moving away from that anyway, and Xbox, I think the year before, but
But even that, it's like, oh, Sony's away from E3. They still had a state of play in May. Like, who gives a shit? You know, it's like it's all the same.
We're still gonna get the same announcements.
They basically did an E3 press conference. It was just a few weeks after or before, whenever it was. A few weeks away from the rest of them.
I know I sound like a sourpuss with this stuff, but I'm usually more hyped for these week-long shit than most people.
Oh yeah, it's hype as hell. It's great. Yeah. But it's all going to happen regardless. In some way, shape, or form, they're not going to not announce their shit. It's going to happen.
Yep.
Rest assured.
Hey, Darby, want to talk about Mario Kart?
Fuck yeah, dude.
All right, baby. This is from Jared Moore from IGN. According to industry analysts, Mario Kart 9 is currently in active development. We'll have a new racing twist and could be teased this year. The speculation surrounding the game comes from Tokyo.
They're all drunk driving.
Yeah. Surrounding the game comes from Tokyo-based industry analyst Dr. Serkan Toto, who, when writing his predictions for the upcoming year for GameIndustry.biz, said the new entry in the beloved racing series is on its way. Quote, I'm aware the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still selling very well on the Nintendo Switch, but Mario Kart 9 is in active development, he said before saying that Nintendo could tease their next entry in the franchise this year. What's more, Toto also slated that Mario Kart 9 may launch with a new twist. New Mario Kart games regularly include twists in the karting formula, from Double Dash's 2-character carts to Mario Kart 8's anti-gravity sections.
Thank God.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, part of me somewhat doubts at least the teasing for this year. I know, I have no doubts on active development. Like, obviously, they're looking for the future.
Probably has been in some way, shape, or form for a while now.
I mean, the kind of good news about this...
No rush, guys.
I think the only thing holding it back is, 8's selling well, so they'll probably just wait till the next system is coming out, is my only thing, is, like, whenever that comes out, and drop it there, like, immediately, so it can sell throughout that life cycle, and that's just a major title right there.
And the cycle begins anew.
But as far as new twist story, naturally people were going like, oh, kart twist, but what if it's Nintendo Kart?
I mean, it just should be. It just simply should be.
I'm honestly surprised about the amount of talk online where it's like the idea of that's overly negative.
Ignore this, people. No one cares about this. But it's just like, how could you not be like,
because it would take away
It's
from the
called
Mario.
Kart. You can still call it Mario Kart. Who gives a shit?
And also it doesn't help
He could be on the cover of the box. It's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, it doesn't help their case when the roster had all the Koopalings and Pinkle Peach and Tanuki Mario filling up the roster.
I know. I mean, like, why would you be? And like,
And babies.
when you look at the full package now or whatever, it's already like a quarter of the way there, and you all seem perfectly fine. You know, it already has all the villagers, the Inkling, Link, and it has Hyrule stages, F-Zero stages, all of this other stuff. Why not? I mean, it's not even that big of a leap to be like Star Fox stage, like in Metroid stage.
Yeah, the main reason I would want that, I think, which talked about before, is the courses.
Oh, yeah, the characters are kind of, take a look.
I like those too,
Yeah.
of course, because that'd just be fun. But
like, I want like a Fire Emblem stage. I want a racetrack. I want
like with a
Donkey
war going on
Kong.
in the background.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
Kirby.
Kirby
that
could be
shit.
dope going for Dreamland and stuff.
Yeah.
Just like going for an epic space battle, like in a Star
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta. Pac-Man is in like the arcade one. So just take the next step, or like just have maybe a couple like key third party. Like
Every
Sonic.
Smash Bros rep gets a Mario Kart stage.
Finally, Cloud.
Yeah.
Cloud's in Mario Kart, but not the Final Fantasy racing game.
That doesn't seem right. He wasn't in PlayStation All Stars.
Yeah.
We Fit. Nice. Yeah, I hope that is the twist. I mean, like that almost just seems like it seems like a given. It's not a given. There's a good chance it doesn't happen, but it just seems like a given.
I want to see Pikachu drive a cart.
Fuck yeah, Pokemon.
Yeah.
A fucking Pokemon course.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 already prints money. This will just like oh, congratulations, Nintendo. It's gonna be
Like have the cast be Mario, but then the other half.
Yeah.
Like have it. Like, let's say maybe at least roughly half the cast and courses be Mario,
For sure.
and the rest of it being the other general Nintendo stuff.
Absolutely.
Keep the Mario Kart name and main spear, whatever, yada yada
Absolutely.
yada.
I mean, you don't even
crazy.
have to do it. You can, for some of these, you can just have one Kirby stage. Of course, I want more than that, but you can just have one or one Metro. Everyone can get one.
Okay, you can do this for cups. Have like Space Cup where you have Star Fox, Kirby, Metroid stages,
Right.
or courses or whatever,
Right.
and just kind of make it kind of themed stuff.
Yeah.
With that. Oh, do something like that. Yeah, I think it'd be okay. Like if they did like one course their thing and just go crazy with that.
Like Splatoon, and somehow you can put ink down to make you go faster or something. Like Team Mario Kart, and you're on two different teams.
Well, I think that'd be
so. Like you have a purple, you have like a green trail behind
Yeah.
you, and if one of your teammates rides on your green paint,
that'd be something also crazy. Like just having the items be things from the games. But I know there would inevitably be things like they're changing Mario Kart because items have a lot been
They're
the
in
same.
the ninth one.
Yeah.
They could change Mario Kart.
Give me a Pokeball.
Give me a Pokemon. Like, in either interpretation of that, either I'm throwing out a Pokemon that's going to attack you, or I put your ass in a Pokeball.
Yeah.
Either way, it's like,
Yep.
and then I'm just walking around, just drive you around, carry you in a Pokeball.
Yep. Well, and inevitably, they're going to have at least, I imagine, some Nintendo characters because they opened up that box. I doubt they're going to close it.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Splatoon. We got a battle stage for it. We never got an actual real track for it.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, because they didn't add any tracks for deluxe, and that's where the Inklings were added.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm happy.
want it.
I'm so excited. I mean, it blows my fucking mind that Mario Kart 8 is as old as it is.
Yeah.
When you play it now, it is gorgeous. I mean, that game feels like a modern game. It's crazy.
Yep.
Like Mario Kart and Super Mario Odyssey are like the two games. Sometimes when I'm looking at it, I'm like, what? How did you make this happen on the Switch?
Mario Kart 8 happened on the Wii U.
I know. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Sorry, Mario Kart 8 is almost 8 years old,
That's bonkers.
and we got it day one.
So I mean, that just makes me think like, what could Mario Kart 9 be? It could be crazy. Nintendo sometimes can they like perform some witchcraft sometimes. I mean, Breath of the Wild is also very impressive for different ways, but Odyssey and Mario Kart are just like, probably because they're like they're more like contained and on themselves and less like open and interactable. But like, I look at some of the environments in there and it's just like voodoo witchcraft magic.
Yeah.
I don't know how you did that. No, it is.
Mm-hmm. Kingdom Magic. Time for other news. Other news. All right, Dory, got a couple little things. Microsoft announced a banger month for Game Pass. Just not going to go through everything, but just a couple of, I would say, the highlights. Rainbow Six Extraction was coming out this month, launching day one on Game Pass.
New game.
New Ubisoft game. I don't know what that means as far as Ubisoft's thoughts on this game.
Yeah.
But either way, big deal. Obviously, a lot of people are like, well, guess I'll try this game out now.
Definitely ups its chance of success for sure.
Yeah.
Like you're just gonna have more butts and seats.
Nobody Saves the World. Day one from the Guacamelee devs, which was I think we knew it was coming to Game Pass, but its release date was announced recently to be coming out like a week from tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's
very big. I mean, that has a chance to be one of those like sleeper indie hits that's people's game of the year and shit like that.
Mass Effect Legendary Edition, the whole trilogy.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is
like, man, I should try out these games.
Yeah. I watched enough to be able to say they look very rough age-wise, but a lot of people are super into. I mean, that's huge. That's huge.
Yep.
Huge. There's definitely some people out there that are vindicated. It's like maybe they'll be on Game Pass. I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah.
It's like there it is.
And one I just remembered, Outer Wilds gets re-added to Game Pass because its thing lapsed on it.
I didn't realize it was taken off.
Yeah, it was taken off, and then I can't remember how long. I was like, okay, I need to just play this game already at some point. Let's just do it. Yeah. So yeah, banger month for Game Pass. And not as great news, Konami has announced a Castlevania NFT auction for the franchise's 35th anniversary. I hate everything about
We are living in the bad timeline.
I fucking hate, like, I've now learned a little, like, anytime I read about anything about NFTs, I just hate the world more. Also, I'm now triggered when anyone starts a sentence with imagine. I am just triggered now. Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park's now on the NFT shit. That was a hot topic yesterday because he was mentioning, like, now imagine if you had a gun skin in Valorant. You bought that skin, and then now you can use it in Fortnite and Minecraft. Like, imagine that.
Mike Shinoda was saying?
Yes. and this is a normal NFT bro thing, but Mike Shinoda's a big name, so we got talked about more. And Game Developers was like, what are you... That's not possible. Like,
that's how that works.
Like, that's apparently what people think NFTs could do in games. It's like... We could technically do that without NFTs, but one thing. But then you have to have all these developers agree to... You need an account system across all these different companies and games.
I barely even want... Yeah, like you said, and this is something that is like, if the companies agreed to do it, it has nothing to do with NFTs. You can just have
and just to work, like, why would they do this? And also, you got to make... games work in these skins work in multiple engines.
Like, am I wrong? Is there some other technology of this game? I don't even want to know on hardly, but like, isn't it NFT? It's just about the blockchain. Like, what the fuck does this have to do with any of these other things that? No,
it's a weird thing where it seems the people that tout how great NFTs are and how it can change industries seem to know the least about what NFTs actually are. What I'm gathering.
I definitely don't know a lot about them, but I thought it was just about the section of the blockchain stuff with cryptocurrency that I don't really fully understand, but I don't know how the fuck that applies to a game skin and how that's any different than just these companies agree to let you have this skin and other things.
Yeah.
And they're acting like it's just some magic thing that you could just carry over to another game. Like the game would have to design that skin there. It's not like you can just magically have.
No. But soon... That will be... It's not possible now, but soon someone will make it possible. So just imagine it. Because it's all you can do.
I just want to go to sleep.
But going back to Konami, the shitty company Konami, he was only good for making Yu-Gi-Oh games at this point.
And apparently debatable at that.
Yeah. Fuck. Castlevania's 35th anniversary and they do this shit? Like, of course it's fucking Konami. And they even say, like, apparently there's music related to these NFTs, and it's like, oh, by the way, copyright laws still apply. You do not own this music, so if you play it or something, it's like, well, copyright strike your ass. It's like, I
thought I owned the NFT.
You own a receipt for the NFT. It's also my understanding.
Ooh, cheers.
For these pictures, you just kind of own a receipt.
Nice.
Just like you buy an artwork, but it hangs in the museum.
Oh, yeah, we weren't doing a really podcast, so we missed the whole Square Enix. Like some people play games to have fun.
Yeah.
Or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on from the man. Can't with this shit. Take-Two.
Jeff's getting too sad. I don't like seeing Jeff this sad.
Take-Two buys mobile game company Zynga, who makes Farmville and some other mobile stuff, for $12.7 billion.
Ready? Yep.
That's a lot of money.
Anyway,
that's got to be one of the biggest acquisitions for this stuff, I imagine.
12B? Yeah, that's a lot.
I imagine like Zynga being bought in a way is, in a general sense, obviously because the money is more like less expected to me than Bethesda, Microsoft buying Bethesda.
Yeah, generally all these mobile game things are another one of those things that's infinitely more popular than whatever you think is popular.
Right.
That's like, that's just how these things work.
So get ready for GTA Online on mobile.
Probably.
Which, theoretically cool, but yeah.
But GTA probably still makes less money than like fucking Candy Crush and Farmville and stuff. So
yeah. But now they can make that money.
Jeffrey.
Darby.
I think it's time.
Is it time? Betting special results.
The betting master has arrived.
Yep. Okay, guys. Quick, dirty explanation as far as the betting special thing. For a reminder. Okay, we had a betting special game show thing. I had 6 categories: first party, third party 2, Electric Boogaloo, Keeley and Friends, Numbers, and Wildcard. There were 5 things, questions/bets for each one.
Yes.
You, Will, and Jacob take turns picking one. You each had like, what was the number? I don't know. A certain number of bets and certain number of questions you can take. I think it was like 6 and 4. I think was the number. 6 bets, 4 questions. You get the questions right, you get money. We had a wheel for it.
And if you're Will, you just get all of the questions.
And all the money.
And just all the money, and just everything goes well for you because you're Will, and you know.
Yeah. And the way the betting worked, I gave you, what was it, like 2,000 or something, Jeff bucks to start out with. Mm-hmm. You put it on each question. You had to take any bet you got, put amount of money to it, give your answer, whatever it might be, and you just double your money if you get it right.
Right.
Simple and dirty. I'll explain any other random shit as we go on.
Hell yeah.
I'm obviously not going to read through the questions again. I'm just going to run through the bets and give the answers and that kind of stuff. Yep. Won't give updates on numbers. You at home can try to keep track of who's winning. And
don't try to do that. Just listen.
Okay. So, but also I will go over how much money people got for the questions.
Yes.
Darby got 400 from questions. Will got 1,500.
Fucking 400 to
1,500 Jeff bucks for the questions he answered.
Yeah.
Jacob got 800. And also something very important, Darby and Jacob used all their money that they had made for bets.
We had to because he had 1,500 from the start.
Yeah. And Will had saved 700, so he starts this results show with 700. So he is technically in the lead before we get into any bets. All right, let's get into it. First party. First bet. Will we see a trailer from Starfield or Hellblade 2? Darby had this one.
I probably had this one.
He put 300 on yes. The answer is yes, because Hellblade got a trailer.
Oh, yeah. Okay, obviously. Duh. Yeah. Okay.
So you got 600 Jeff bucks for that. Next one. Will we see a trailer from Horizon Forbidden West or God of War Ragnarok? Darby got this one as well. He put 200 on yes. Yes, because Horizon.
Thank you, Horizon. Thank you.
So got 400 out of that payout.
Stop the count.
Yep. Next one. Will we see a trailer from Breath of the Wild 2 or Bayonetta 3? Jacob got this one. question. He put 300 on yes. The answer was no. We did not see either. We have no Nintendo announcement.
Nope. None at all. Sad this one out.
Third parties. Will we see NetherRealm's next project? Darby had this one. He put 1100 on yes.
Yeah, this is where I lose the whole thing, ladies and gentlemen. I had to swing on something with how Lady Luck, shafted me. And sometimes you swing wrong. Swing and miss.
The answer was no, unfortunately. Yeah, that was a good bet at the time. I was pretty confident that was at least going to be there.
Yeah.
So yeah. Next one. Who will have the longest trailer? Fortnite, Among Us, or Fall Guys?
Oh, I mentioned this.
Jacob had this bet. He put 400 on Fortnite. And I think this was a pretty fun bet. It's like, okay, odds are at least one of these was going to be here because they're like always at Jeff's thing. And yeah, all three of them were.
Okay.
So here is the times for each one. Because remember, Jacob put 400 on Fortnite. Fall Guys, a 1 minute trailer, like exactly. Among Us, for Among Us VR, 30 seconds. Fortnite, 1 minute 42 seconds.
1 minute 42.
So yeah, a good bit more. Jacob got it. He got 800 Jeff bucks.
I don't even remember what the Fortnite thing was.
I think it was a general new season thing.
I don't
think it was like a necessarily new announcement. It was just kind of a.
Because the new season I think it happened around New Year's around.
Next one. Will we see Resident Evil 8 DLC? Will got this question. He put 500 on yes. Nope. Did not get any.
No, sir, Will.
But Lady D did take home a trophy. Time for third party 2 Electric Boogaloo. Will Kojima bring the goods? Will got this question and put 300 on yes. He brought a Guillermo del Toro trailer, but unfortunately not bringing the goods as I described them. So the answer was no.
We crunched the numbers. That's not bringing the goods.
Yeah. So no money for Will so far in bets. Next one. Will we see FS16? Jacob got this one. A small 100 on no.
Oh, wow. Look at him.
Yep. And yeah, he was correct.
Look at him.
Nice little 200.
I probably would have bet.
200. Next one. Also from Jacob question. Will we get a Dragon Age 4 trailer? He put 600 on no.
Yeah, that's smart. Very smart.
And it was not there. So that's 1,200.
Yeah, that's an easy bet. That's too easy.
Okay, Keely and friends. Will Jeff mention Chris Pratt playing Mario?
Yeah, this was rough.
I can't remember what you originally put on there because there was a switcheroo. Rooney. Darby had it. He put 100 on yes. I'm pretty sure it was like 1,000 or some shit originally.
Because I could have sworn that Chris Pratt was announced to be a presenter there, and he absolutely was not. I just made that up in my head somewhere.
Yeah.
So I had to take a bunch of. I think that was the money that I took off to put on NetherRealm.
The answer was no.
Yeah.
No money for you. Will Joseph Ferris say his iconic line? Jacob got this one. Put 800 on no. It happened at the very last minute.
Literally, like, one of the last things said in the entire thing. It was so fucking funny. God.
It was beautiful.
It was absolutely beautiful. And our boy, I mean, come on. Joseph Ferris. It takes two. Let's go, man. What a game.
Will Vin Diesel reveal himself? Jacob got this one. He put 600 on no. Unfortunately, no Vin Diesel.
I was about to say, was there any hidden Vin Diesel that didn't...
If there was, I didn't see it. So 1,200 more for Jacob. All right, so we're at the number ones where it got weird because I spinned a wheel to see like how close you could get.
Yeah. And fucking Will got like...
Will got all these questions, by the way.
He got like a year. It's like,
you just have to be within the Will's category. How many world premieres will there be? Will got it. He put 1,300 on this one. He was able to be 10 away. So 10 below or under 31. The answer was 53.
Hey,
he got it wrong.
Let's go, baby. God, I hope Jacob wins. Let's go, Jacob. Unless I can somehow pull it out, but I don't think I can.
How long into the main show until the 11th time world premiere will flash on the screen? Will's window of being correct was 1 minute. So very close. He put 100 on this. He said the 68th minute. The answer was the 55 minute.
Pretty close.
So
Not close enough, but hey.
Yep. So he did not get that money. What percentage of the world premieres will be DLC/updates to already released games? Again, Will got this one. He had a 3% margin of error. He said 33%, put 200 on this one. The correct answer was 16.98%. So no money for Will.
Ooh, I'm loving it. Eating this up.
So if you're paying attention, Will has not gotten any bets right.
Wow.
And here's Will's final bet. Jacob has done all his bets. We only have wild card left. So yeah, here's Will's final bet. Will Kyle Bossman talk to a puppet or robot? Will put 400 on yes. The answer was no. Will did not get any bet correct.
Oh. Shit.
Yep.
Man, Lady Luck was just trying to hand it to him, and he wouldn't have it. Will was just throwing that right back in their face.
Yep.
But he does get a free 700, regardless.
This next question, it was Darby's. He put 101 on it.
Right? Yeah, I forgot what I did to earn that one.
Will a grown man cry? You said yes. The answer was no. I scrubbed through that thing. No grown man crying. Sanoa did. I think another woman or two cried. Maybe a child, but no grown man.
Damn.
The closest thing I was trying to see is during that Hellblade trailer was that giant crying.
Yeah.
But I couldn't.
He seemed unhappy.
He seemed very sad, but I saw no evidence of tears.
So fucking close. I wanted that 1 point to matter.
And the final bet: will an instrument be played in a trailer?
This fucks me too.
Yep. Darby put 600 on no. Yes, because of that Star Wars trailer with the guys beating the drums.
Yep.
Might have been some other ones, but that is the one thing.
Yeah, because me and you were trying to go. We were going back and forth. Like it might have been something in that I remembered that I was like, fuck. That's yeah.
So to go on to how much people got from the bets, Darby got a total of 1,000.
Okay, respectable.
Oh wait, there were the final bets. Never mind. We got one more thing. Where are they?
I forgot what we even did for these.
Where are they? Final bets. Okay, it was the winner of the Goaty Award. Everyone did their 1, 2, and 3. If it was your number one pick, you got 800. Second 500. Third 200.
Right.
Darby had Deathloop number 1, Metroid number 2, Psychonauts 2, 3.
I didn't believe.
Yeah, and just in case you don't know, it was It Takes Two 1.
Hell yeah.
Will 1 Deathloop, 2 Metroid, 3 It Takes Two. You got 200 for that. Jacob, 1 Deathloop, 2 It Takes Two, 3 Psychonauts 2. So Jacob got 500 for that.
Brutal.
So final tally time. Darby, 1,000 from the normal bets, and nothing from the final bets. So Darby has a total of 1,000. Will, 700 from the carryover, nothing from regular bets, 200 from the final bets. So you got 900. Darby, you beat Will.
Let's go, Will.
I think we're obvious what's coming next. Jacob got 3,400 from bets, already tripling yours. And another 500 from the final bet.
Damn.
So Jacob running away with it with 3,900 Jeff bucks is definitively, no questions asked, the winner of the Game Awards 2021 Nerds at Large Betting Special Game Show.
Congratulations, Jacob. The first ever blowout, because every single last other Game Award betting special has been like a nail biter. This is like
I was trying to think, because I always have the mindset of I will do it. I will change things around to make it interesting, but there was no way to do it with this.
It was just
especially
a curb stomp.
When Will got none right.
I can't believe I beat Will. That is embarrassing, Will. That is embarrassing.
Normally pretty good on these betting specials. I think Jacob might have tied him. I think with wins. I can't remember what I said with this thing was.
Is Will not ahead with the maybe yeah? Because Jacob has won several.
If you want to, real quick,
I've only won one, right?
if you give me 1 second, I can try to pull up the thing.
Well, there's no worries. Either way, how do you want to tell Will and Jacob?
Tell them to watch this damn video.
Well, tell them to watch this little effing video, dude.
Yeah. I can't remember if I had it written down who won or not, or I just had it because I looked. I don't know. I know Will has it written down somewhere, and we said it in the
we can try
video. We did it. Yeah.
Remember to mention it. If we don't remember to mention it soon, by the next betting special, we'll probably say, here are the current tallies. Darby sucks. He has 1.
But Jacob won E3, right? So there's 2 in a row from.
I
Yeah.
think that's right.
Reigning champ.
Reigning champ can't be stopped.
No.
3,900. That's what he was.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, I was contemplating if I did the Jetbug format to have money carry over, but that's too much of a difference. I'm not gonna bother.
Please,
you guys suck too bad for me to do that.
Yeah, please, no, please don't do that. Please have mercy.
That's too much of an advantage.
Have mercy, Jeff. Well, thank you guys so much. That was a blast. That was a lot of fun. Can't wait for E3's betting special. And E3 in general. Whatever. We're still just going to always call it E3, I feel like, regardless what happens.
I'm going to need them to announce it because that will determine the format of my bet.
Yeah. Probably need. Didn't you last year we did all of June and then
2 years ago we did all of summer. We did June through August.
Right. And then there was a bunch of stuff announced in May, like last week of May, I remember. Like at the Arceus was like last week of May.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what we're going to do. They don't make Jeff's job easy. All right. Thank you guys so much. Until next time.
Oh, yeah. We might probably doing Goatee talk next week.
Okay, that too. Yeah.
Yeah,